Hi everyone, welcome back to Pickle Break. I'm Picklez, as you know, and today we will be talking about my Tata. 3, 2, 1, go.
La 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 la.
Alright, so I know that a lot of you care about my Tata and want to know how he is doing now. For those of you who don't know, my Tata is my grandfather, and my Tata has been struggling with lymphoma for over 10 years. And recently the cancer spread to his pancreas, which turned it into pancreatic cancer. At that time he was declared terminal, which was on September 10th of this year, and he was given 1 month to live, which would have been October 10th, 2018. Well, I am happy to tell you that he is alive and doing well still, considering. But I will share some information with you on what he's been going through the last month. So Tata has been receiving out-of-home care for about 3 weeks now. He went to the hospital about 3 weeks ago due to some really high fevers, and they weren't manageable. We couldn't really control them. We found out that he had a couple of blood infections, and the blood infections were caused by some previous procedures that he had done due to his condition. So he had a procedure to control those fevers, make him a bit stronger, improve his appetite, and reduce some pain, which did help a little bit. But after this procedure, the doctor suggested that he maybe go to hospice or home, wherever he preferred. So Tata decided that he wanted to go to the hospice in our city. So he went there a week ago today. For those of you who don't know, the hospice is a place where terminal people can go. That is more of a warm environment, more like home than a hospital. So they can spend their last days more comfortable than in a hospital. So that was the first time I've ever been to a hospice, and the one in our city is just amazing. It is beautiful. It gave Tata a whole new environment, and it was a positive environment, and it felt like home. You know, there's a TV in his room. He has a room alone. He's overlooking a lake. Like, geez, like I'm talking really nice. There's no hospital beeps and pages and constant noises. So he really enjoys that there, and the family just loves it too, because he can receive care when he needs it from the nurses and the PSWs. But it's not, it's a lot more comfortable for him. So that's great. And it's also great for my grandmother, his wife, my dear, dear Mamie is what I call her. She has been by his side for 50 plus years, almost 55 years now. And still, you know, always throughout this by his side, and she's a lot more comfortable here too. So we went to the hospice about a week ago, and that night he had his full supper, some kind of soup, creamy soup, and sandwich. He ate it all. At the hospital he was barely eating anything, and what he was eating he had to force. So he's regained some of his appetite, which is awesome. The food is really good. Shout out to the chef. And it's great because they'll actually make him what he wants within reason. But honestly, like, he wanted wieners and sauerkraut one day. Well, they had sauerkraut in the kitchen, they didn't have wieners. They were offering to go get it, the chef, but you know, we went out and the family bought the wieners and kind of contributed that way. But the chef just made him wieners and sauerkraut just for him, because that's what he felt like eating. So that was great, and he ate the whole thing. Anyway, I digress. No, I don't like that word. Anyway, so for the first part of the hospice stay, Tata's energy was very, very low, and it had been low in the hospital as well. You know, he was in pain from procedures, and you know, cancer tumors and stuff like that. But his energy was very low. He would have short bursts of energy, and he could take his walker to the kitchen and go sit down and eat his breakfast there or something like that. But then right after that brief burst of energy, he would be so tired and he would just sleep for hours. So that was pretty hard to see, because I've never seen Tata with no energy, you know? It's hard. But one of the doctors had explained to us that Tata's cancer has been using about 90% of his energy constantly. So he is only left with 10%. So that 10% can be used for brief bursts of energy, which he has been having, but then right after he crashes because he's used up all of his energy. He's completely depleted. So he has to rest. But you know, that's just Tata. He chooses to use those bursts of energy as he sees fit, which is walking around and doing stuff. That's just Tots. So the family's been coming up every weekend since he's been declared terminal. And my mom and her siblings have been staying for weeks at a time, depending on how he's been looking. So there's been times where he hasn't looked very good, and the time looked like it was coming. It looked like it was time for him to pass on. So they would stay, and you know, they wanted to be there. They wanted to be there for my grandmother. But now they have just gone back to work again. It's been a roller coaster, because Tata is actually looking pretty good. Over the last few days, I've seen him be able to stay up for longer. Even if he's just resting in his bed, he has his eyes open, he's alert more for a longer period of time. So maybe like 2 hours rather than 30 minutes and then having to sleep for hours to recoup. So I've gradually seen him have more energy. And then today, when I went in this morning, he had been up from 7 a.m. to the time I left the hospice at just about 1 p.m. So he was up for 6 hours. Is that 6? 7 to 1. Yeah, 6 hours. Up, and he had gone to the dining room, which was a walk down the hall. He had a newspaper to do a crossword puzzle, and this man did a whole crossword puzzle in probably like 45 minutes. But as you guys know, crossword puzzles are not easy to do without Google, and he just did it. He's had some practice throughout the years, but he's a smart man, and that showed that he had energy. So then he went back to the room, and I fully expected him to rest up, because that was a long time doing things for him, and he was totally fine. He didn't need a rest. He was chatting away, totally okay. So that was amazing, and I want to share something really, really cool with you. So this morning at the breakfast table, there was another, what do they call them? Resident? There was another resident or patient of the hospice having his breakfast across the table from Tata. And so, like Tata is always, he sparks a conversation with this man, and he finds out that this man had been there for about 3 months now. He was declared terminal. I'm not sure when or what his prognosis was, but the cool part is that within the last 2 weeks, this man has showed a lot of progress in his condition. He has been improving a lot, and they're actually looking at moving him to an extended care or a long-term care facility. And this man was inspired, happy, he was laughing, he was smiling, because he was getting better, and this man was declared terminal. So I feel like Tata felt inspired from this man, and he changed after that. You know, the rest of the few hours that I was there, he was making jokes like nobody's business. you know, just like he normally would, but hasn't been because of his weakness and all of that. This man that we just met had an impact on Tata and gave him that spark of hope again that I think he had lost. So this was really great to see. You know, Tata had come to terms with his mortality and being terminal, and he said that he accepts that his time was near or is near and that he's ready. But something changed, and I hope it continues. I hope it's not just today. I hope that he continues to feel good, as we all do. But it was really cool to see. I'm really happy. You know, I updated my family because they're all back at work now, and it's good for everyone. My grandmother, after my Tata's mood had lifted, my grandmother seemed more hopeful and positive, which was awesome because I haven't seen her like that since he's been terminal. You know, 2 months of her being heartbroken is not good for anyone, you know? So again, Tata finds a way to help us all in this difficult time. But I'm very happy to say that it's been over 2 months now since he's been declared terminal. He's beaten his prognosis of 1 month by a month. So he's doing awesome. He's defying the odds, and he's doing it with grace. He is a true gentleman, and I could not be more proud of this man or love him anymore. So thank you guys for caring about him, and I hope to update you more on his positive progress. Thank you for all your thoughts and prayers, and I'll see you next time.